The views on a Breath of Fresh Air podcast reflects the parties involved, and we encourage you all to use it as a conversational tool that will lead to personal studies of your own.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome to a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz Gay. As a young person, Christianity can be so foggy, like smoke in the mirrors and so unclear. But we're here to bring you a breath of fresh air.
Oh, that my grief were fully weighed, and my calamity laid with it on the scales. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words have been rash, for the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks in their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me. Does the wild donkey bray when it has grass? Or does the ox low over its fodder? Can flavorless food be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? My soul refuses to touch them. They are as loathsome food to me. Oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant me the thing that I long for, that it would please God to crush me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off. Then I would still have comfort. Though in anguish, I would exult. He will not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stones? Or is my flesh bronze? Is my help not within me? And is success driven from me? To him who is afflicted, kindness should be shown by his friend, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. My brothers have dealt deceitfully, like a brook, like the streams of the brook that pass away, which are dark because of the ice, and in which the snow vanishes. When it is warm, they cease to flow. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. The paths of their way turn aside. They go nowhere and perish. The caravans of Timah look. The travelers of Sheba hope for them. They are disappointed because they were confident. They come there and are confused, for now you are nothing. You see terror and are afraid. Did I ever say, bring something to me? Or offer a bribe for me from your wealth? Or deliver me from the enemy's hand? Or redeem me from the hand of the oppressors? Teach me and I will hold my tongue. Cause me to understand where I have erred. How forceful are right words? What does arguing prove? Do you intend to rebuke my words? And the speeches of a desperate one, which are as the wind? Yes, you overwhelm the fatherless. You undermine your friend. Now, be pleased to look at me, for I would never lie to your face. Yield now. Let there be no injustice. Yes, concede. My righteousness still stands. Is there injustice on my tongue? Can't my taste discern the unsavory?
In this week's episode, we follow Job as he pours out his anguish and frustration like never before. Chapters 6 and 7 reveal a man on the edge, grappling with the unbearable pain and pleading for understanding as he challenges both his friends and God. As always, be blessed and enjoy.
Okay. All right, welcome back to another episode of A Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts
Nakhaz Gate.
and Earl Roberts. How's your week been?
Not too bad, Started the week in Atlanta, where I visited my sister and my brother-in-law and my two nephews. They're growing up nicely, pretty fast, I would say. But yeah, my wife and I, we meant to go visit one of her cousins, who had a get together for their 30th. And it was good to see familiar faces. Good to spend some time in Atlanta. I hadn't been in Atlanta. I don't know, this might have been my first time all year. And I
Really?
usually go, yeah, come to think of it, I don't recall, I don't recall going there. Like, I was there, New Year's, I was leaving there, you know,
Okay.
but, yeah, that's pretty much it. Other than that, I came back to work, been in the gym, usual physical therapy stuff. And yeah, I usually got some more stuff done at work and nothing too out of the ordinary, but God is good. I'm thankful to see another week. How was yours?
Amen. Oh, it was pretty chill. Pretty chill. It was just a regular week. Work, life.
Yeah,
Nothing extraordinary happened this week, but that's good. Sometimes no news is good news.
yep, it's true.
All right, so we are in Proverbs 4. Well, we're in Job, but this week we're doing Proverbs 4 first. So let's get it. Proverbs 4, verse 1. Listen, my sons, to your father's instructions. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, though it costs all you have. Get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head and present you with a glorious crown. Listen, my son, and accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered, and when you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to instruction, do not let it go. Guard it well, for this is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked, or walk in the way of evildoers. Avoid it, do not travel on it. Turn from it and go away from it, for they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full of light of day. But the way of the wicked is like the deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart, for they too are life to those who find them, and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths of your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil. Evil?
So, I mean, one thing that's consistent that we see in these first few chapters of Proverbs is how wisdom and righteousness go hand in hand. I was making the analogy, um, I think 2 episodes ago, about how a lot of times when we talk about wisdom,
Mhm.
we equate it to like intelligence in a way. You know what I mean? So you could have somebody who is like a scholar, someone who makes who like an inventor, an innovator, like someone who is like very brilliant in terms of IQ and logic and stuff like that. But they'll turn around and say God does not exist, or they believe in the Bang theory. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a crutch a lot of scientists lean on. You know, especially you see people like the deeper you go in the world of tech and science, etc. A lot of times they're not really faith based,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes it's like a dichotomy there because it's like no, you know, the Bible talks about fools who have these line of thinking, but these people are obviously not fools because they're so intelligent. But you got to see biblically what it boils down to. You could be wise in your own eyes. Like there's a text in the New Testament, and it kind of goes to say like the philosophy of men is like the things of God is like foolishness to like even to like oh I can find the text later on. I'm sorry, but basically the bottom line is like true wisdom is relying on God and being righteous and doing the right thing. That's the true wisdom. And I think that's being forward thinking and also preparing for the best outcome. So let me just give you an example. When you get a car, some states like it's mandatory to get insurance. Some
Mm-hmm.
people believe insurance is a scam and etc. Right?
It's a
But if you have
scam
the
until you need it.
yeah, exactly. So, but if you have the option to get insurance, you could get away with not driving insurance. You could driving without insurance. You could have a car and you could don't pay nothing and you could not get in an accident and you save money. But now in the event that you do get into an accident, you total your car, you total someone else's car, it would have been better that you just had the insurance, right? So now if I give you an option, and I ask you which one is the wise thing to do this right thing or to do this thing and it covers you, you know what I'm saying? Or to not do the thing and you gamble, the wise person would say, hey, I rather just get the insurance in the event that something bad happens, right? When I read this text, I kind of feel that way. It's like the the wise man, some people believe is Solomon. Let's say for the sake of conversation, it is Solomon. Solomon teaching his children to do the right thing. You could get away with
Mm-hmm.
speaking in a certain way, thinking in a certain way, devising certain plots. But the best thing to do is to stay firm on the path of righteousness. That's the best thing. It's going to yield the best outcome. You could try the shortcut and you gamble, or you could do the right thing, and it's proven blessings that come with that. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's wisdom. I only can tell you the best thing for you to do. If you choose to do it, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, the best thing for you to do is to heed the commandments, is to heed the laws. You know what I'm saying? Like do the things that are taught to you, like retain the words. You know, they say a word to the wise is sufficient. In Proverbs 4 verse 4, it say, let your heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget, nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not
You just see
forsake
the
it. And
next week's episode's thunder.
say what?
You say this.
Oh,
But
what'd you say?
keep going, my bad.
Yeah, no, you good. Um, anyway, and do not turn from the words of my mouth. You know, so essentially, like a consistent theme. Like they give you like different gems and stuff to live by, but a consistent theme is that the wise man follows God. You know what I'm saying? The wise man lives righteously. Like you're not being wise if you try to cut corners or if you try to cut out God, no matter how sweet life could be, seemingly, you know what I'm saying, for you. You know, the wise thing is to be devoted to God.
Yeah, the one verse you was looking for earlier was First Corinthians 1 verse 25, because the foolishness of God is wiser than man, and the weakness of God is stronger than man. I think that's the verse you were looking for.
I don't think that's the one, but I think it speaks to, the conversation, the point that I was making, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So from this verse in Proverbs, one thing I do like, I'm gonna take a slightly different angle than you, because I do agree with everything you're saying. I don't want to just regurgitate all that stuff again. is that I do like how we see here him instructing his children, like teaching his children earnestly. And then he also mentioned that, I was also taught these things. And, we give David a lot of flack, but we can see David still, taught him stuff and taught him some good wisdom for what it's worth, right? And I think that's super important. Like when you have kids to actually teach them and be purposefully making sure they're going the right path. Like and this guy wrote this down for them, like here. And it wasn't just to one particular son. Like some versions just say, listen, children. This one says, listen, my sons. So, but you can see this wasn't just to one. This was like to all of them. Like, hey, here is what I think is sound wisdom. And you see he's saying like, this is sound wisdom. Like, trust my commands. Trust me. These I ain't leading you astray with this. So I do think that's very commendable.
So you think this David talking to Solomon?
No, I think it's Solomon talking to his children.
Oh, to his children. Okay,
but like he also said, like I remember when like I was taught.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. For when I too was a son to my father, still attending church, my mother, then he taught me and said to me, take hold of, so he was saying like, that's what his father told him. But everything else was still Solomon talking to his children.
All right, I think I got the text.
Go for it.
And you can read the whole. It's from 1 Corinthians chapter 2. You can read the whole chapter for context. But I'm starting from chapter 10. But God has revealed them to us through His Spirit. For the Spirit searches all things, yes, the deep things of God. For what man knows the things of a man except the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, no one knows the things of God except the Spirit of God. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit who is from God, that we might know the things that have been freely given to us by God. These things we also speak not in the words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teaches, comparing spiritual things with the spiritual. But the natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit of God, for they are foolishness to him, nor can he know them, because they are spiritually discerned. But he who is spiritual judges all things, yet he himself is rightfully judged by no one. For who has known the mind of the Lord, that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of Christ. I believe that's the point I was trying to make. I would have to, only for the sake of time, I didn't want to like really scrub the internet to get the point. But, they was talking about these things we speak not in words which man's wisdom teaches, but which the Holy Spirit teaches. You know what I'm saying? So it's like to the world, there's a generally accepted philosophy that's wisdom as defined by men. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't teaching according to that. These are things of the Spirit, and spiritual things are spiritually discerned. So it's like you could have somebody who is a genius. You know what I'm saying? A genius, but if he's not spiritually discerned, he's not going to be able to grasp the things of the Spirit. That's why you could have people like, and I ain't trying to keep bullying this dude, but Stephen Hawking, that's like the one dude who just stick out to me. You know what I'm saying? Very
spread it around.
Yeah, like he was serious that like it ain't no God, but like you know what I mean? Like like relax, like you know what I mean? But he is very talented physicist, and you know what I'm saying, for what it's worth. But you could have all that knowledge, but you can lack the spiritual, and so you lean into foolishness because you lean into man's wisdom over the wisdom of God.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, so this week we are in Job chapter 6. You want to give people a recap of how we get to Job 6?
Yes, sir. So we know I can keep going over the first two chapters, but
No.
it's probably the last time I can say Job was tested. The devil was trying to say, hey, if I do some things to Job, he can crack under the pressure. God was like, all right, here's your chance. He take away Job's kids. He take away Job's livelihood. Job ain't crack. The next chapter, chapter 2, he take away Job's health. Job still ain't crack. So now, last chapter, we were talking about Job's friends who visited him during his time of pain. When his health was taken away, I'm talking about he had a skin disease. Worms are, eating at his flesh, like he looks bad. He's unrecognizable to his friends, And when he finally speaks, he tells his friends, I wish I just wasn't born, bro. But it's life thing, but it just don't make no sense. Like, you do all of this for what? Like, I wish I was with the people, the kings or whoever who perish, bro. I would just be at rest. You know what I'm saying? No, none of this agony that I'm going through. And then Eliphaz responds saying, yo, let's be honest. You probably had this talk to many people who was in your position, right? But one thing we know for sure is righteousness follows righteous people. You know what I'm saying? Curses follow unrighteous people. Have we ever seen it go any other way? My advice to you is to repent, confess your sins to God, and things will work out for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so that is the predicament Eliphaz has put Job in. He puts Job in a position where it's like, bro, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. You know what I mean? I really do. I wish I could be quiet, but I just can't even keep these words in right now. You need to hear this. Friend to friend. You could try to fool yourself, but let's just be real, bro. That's just how the facts are, bro. Like, good equals good, bad equals bad. Because you are in a place of you're in a bad position, you must have done bad. And so now Job is responding to Eliphaz. That's what brings us to chapter 6.
Okay. So let's kick it off. Job 6, verse 1. Then Job answered and said, oh, that my grief were fully weighed, and my calamity laid with it on the scales. For then it would be heavier than the sand of the sea. Therefore my words have been rash. For the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks in their poison. The terrors of God are arrayed against me. Does the wild donkey bray when it has grass, or does the ox low over its fodder? Can flavorless food be eaten without salt, or is there any taste in the white of an egg? My soul refuses to touch them. They are as loathsome food to me. Mercy. So now we see Job just describing his anguish and his pain. He says his grief and his calamity would be heavier than the sand of the sea. He admit he was talking a little spicy earlier. He says his words have been rash. He admits that. But he's trying to make you understand why. In Job's mind right now, God is against him.
Yes. And I think he's saying, without saying, how meaningless life is right now.
Absolutely.
He compares it to fresh food. When I say fresh, I don't mean like new, food without salt.
Food without
You know what I
salt.
mean? Like he trying to say, like I wouldn't even touch that. Like, what's the point of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of food without salt, right? What a donkey even care to eat if he already full? You know what I mean? Like,
Bruh, when you say, is there any taste in the white of an egg? And I was like, you bad, For centuries, they know the white of egg ain't really had no flavor. I was like, even if it's fried, it don't really got no flavor. It boiled, it definitely don't got no flavor. You need some salt and a little bit of pepper on that egg, boy.
You definitely do. But you don't remember the other day we were sitting thinking if they even used to. Oh, I don't think it was you. I think it was Dorm and Lindell. I was like, bro, did they? Because oh man, that's a little tangent. But we was just talking about breakfast food and the things culturally that people say are breakfast food in one culture, and another culture that's not breakfast food. You understand what I'm saying? Like in our culture, we eat tuna for breakfast. In American culture, they don't eat tuna for breakfast. I can't think of even one instance where they eat fish whatsoever for breakfast. But fish, consistently, we eat all type of fish for breakfast. You see what I'm saying? When you boil fish, that could be any fish. If it's boiled, any fish should be eaten for breakfast. Other than that, we got tuna, we got sardine, we got mackerel. The list goes on. You see what I'm saying? Like, but I was saying, like, people started marketing this idea of a breakfast during the industrial era in America. You see them just like, oh, we eating eggs and bacon and toast. But it's like, bro, these things you could eat any time of the day. You see what I'm saying? Like when we watch the Bible cartoon, They eating fruit and thing for dinner. You see what I say? Like fruit and bread. You know what I mean? Like we just was at the Bible Museum. That table was arrayed with fruits and vegetables. And
couldn't tell what meal they was eating.
Exactly. What time you couldn't tell what time of the day it was. But anyway, eggs in the Bible. Just saying. For those who like me was wondering if they even used to eat eggs back in them days. Definitely did. But with salt, not without salt.
My boy said needed that salt, buddy.
It needed, it's like my soul refused these type of things. You know what I mean?
Joe, I'm like, so where the salt at? Like, you want to give me an egg?
And it seemed like a little tangent, because it's like, what it matter what your dietary needs are, like, you know what I mean? Like, or what your preferences are, right? But I see the meaningless of it, bro. It's like when an animal full, you can put all the grass in front of them. It ain't nothing happening.
Ain't nothing happening.
You see what I say? And he said, bro, like to me, that's like you eating flavorless food without salt. You see what I'm saying? He said, can flavorless food be eaten without salt? Of course it can be eaten, but who eating that?
Who enjoys it?
Who enjoys that, bro? But it's like if you have an option, who even going through that? You see what I say? No, bro, no. If you tell me this flavorless food, and I know if I wait a little longer, I could get an option to eat flavored food. I'm not gonna eat flavorless food. I have to be like in jail or like this is my only option or something,
Starving.
Right. And so he like, my soul refuses to even touch them. They are loathsome food to me. And yeah, we can see that's kind of like, like the meaningless of life to him right now,
Exactly. So now in verse 8, oh, that I might have my request, that God would grant me the thing that I long for, that it would please God to crush me, that he would loose his hand and cut me off. Then I would still have comfort. Though in anguish I would exalt. He will not spare, for I have not concealed the words of the Holy One. Job began saying, but I have one request.
Simple one.
Okay? Most people's prayers is for God to sustain me, to hold me up. Job saying, I pray in the opposite. I want God to crush me. People say, God, crush my enemies. Job saying, no, crush me. I'm much rather my enemies live and me not go through this agony than anything else right now.
Job saying, do not pass me by.
Pass me not.
Pass me not, O gentle Savior. Yeah, bro. He's saying, bro, grant me that thing that I long for. That's something, though. That's something. That's some serious grief. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I do know people feel this way often. Some people, without having gone through some of the trauma that Job went through, some people just in general, they have like mental health issues. You see what I'm saying? Like their mind is not at rest. They feel that way. And it's interesting to see this in the Bible. I feel like honestly, and I don't even like to be this guy to say, oh, blah, 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 as a church. I don't, I might be wrong. Y'all. But I don't think I speak like that often because I do know that I have some answers, but I don't have all the answers. You know what I'm saying? And the church has not done all wrong. You feel me? And I feel like far too long we criticize only the wrong that church has done. I was just talking to my boy about this the other day, and he was telling me that he saw, just like me, he saw a lot of his peers leave Christianity and leave our denomination of Adventism. And he was like really contemplating, like, what is this all about? Like, what is truth? Like, he was on his quest for truth. And he was highlighting some of the reasons why he stayed. And some of the reason why he stayed is the reason why some people would leave. And I'm not speaking on behalf of him, but consider this. I had a friend who left the Adventist church because she's not pleased by the fact that we have different black and white conferences. We have conference for white people, conference for black people. And a lot of times the decisions at the higher level are driven by the white conferences. And I'm just like, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this or if you've noticed, but this is America. That's all. That's the end of it. It's America. We live in America. It was built by Black people, right? Controlled by white people, and systems were in place to make sure it stays that way. You know what I mean? And every other denomination that is American or that is in America and has been around, and if unless it's like brand new, they have these same tensions. You know what I'm saying? They all have history of racism because people in general were racist during that time. You see what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I can tell you, I come from a country, I'm sorry for the tangent, but I come from a country where we are predominantly Black. So I have not grown up experiencing the residue of civil rights and racism to the degree that people my age in America has. I am not as bothered by by certain cues or microaggressions as everyone else because I have not lived here as long as other people. My parents didn't go through the same. We just live two different lives. We like two different cultures. You understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't know this like. I don't know this like. I don't know. That's not as big a driving force for me as it is for other people, only because I've experienced it less and I've heard of it less. I have the confidence of a person who grew up in a place where it was only my race around. You see what I'm saying? Like we discriminate against you for other things. You see what I'm saying in my country, right? And so, with that said, I experienced Adventism that was not divided. And so I can tell you for a fact, Adventism is not the is not the reason for this division. You know, this division does not exist in every circle of Adventism. But anyway, I say all that to say, because I really kind of forget where I was even going with this. But oh, I think you wouldn't believe where I was going with this. I think a lot of time, a lot of times, um, we try to our denomination, we run away from things that we don't know well or that we don't know like the back of our hand. A lot of times we rely on he say, she say, or tradition to be the catch-all. Hey, this is the way we always do it. If that don't work for you, bro, we just sweeping it under the rug type of situation. You know what I mean? Mental health to me is one of those things. It's some people just ain't all right in their head, bro. I had a pastor, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm sorry if I come off offensive. I had a pastor was saying that he was talking about how like, God could deliver you from something, but that don't mean you don't still have, you don't have work to do still. When Lazarus was resurrected, Jesus resurrected Lazarus, but people still had to help him on his bondages. You see what I say? Like that was the gist of the sermon, and it was so beautiful to me because it's like, there was still stuff to be done. Like you alive, yes, Jesus solved that problem, but not to get you back, to how you was. It wasn't just like, voila, I fix everything. There, God has put people in place to help us along the way, and I say that to say, we have mental health professionals, you know what I'm saying, that are Christians that you could talk to that could help you. I had a cousin who used to tell me that he don't believe in going to therapy and stuff because he's like, you only go there if something wrong with you. And I tell him, bro, like therapy, you could look at it like how you look at the gym. There are some people who go to the gym because they trying to fix a problem. You see what I'm saying? Some people who go to the gym because they just trying to retain. You see that they just maintenance. You see what I'm saying? Trying to make sure everything's solid. You know what I mean? And with that being said, we see Job right now. He's in a very dark place. He does not want to be. He does not want to be alive. You see what I'm saying? And he's praying to God that God takes him out of his misery. You know what I'm saying? Anybody out there who feels the same way, just know that I'm praying for you, Earl, and I praying for you. But also, I implore you to seek professional help. You know what I'm saying? I do not believe that saying, this is my opinion, and I'm sorry for people from other generations and classes who may disagree, but I do not believe saying, hey, go to church fixes every problem. I don't believe that's a catch-all. Hey, you feeling mentally XYZ? Just go to church. You see what I'm saying? There are tangible things God has blessed us with today. You see what I'm saying? That can help facilitate some of our needs. Like to me, if somebody having mental issues and you tell them go to church to fix that, that's the same as somebody who overweight and you tell them go to fix that. You see what I'm saying? Because then God is the great physician. Don't he fix all things? You see what I'm saying? Like if I get shoot, ain't nobody could bat an eye if I go to the doctor for that. Like go into the people who God has blessed in this generation to be able to help us. It's not saying like we neglect God or that we lack faith. You know what I mean? And so I just implore people. I just wanted to say that because I don't want to brush over anything either. You know what I'm saying? But, I implore you to also get tight with God, facts, but also don't neglect some other facilities and amenities that, is available to you.
Agreed. There was like something I wanted to say, but I don't even remember no more.
I think you threw a word salad just now, but
I was like, I got a point here. Okay, hold up to that point. Okay, this point, I got a next point for over here. But anyway,
Yeah,
I do agree. Like Christians a lot try to like just say go to church, right? But there are different things in life that we need to work on, and there's different avenues and resources to help. Even with like the mental health thing, like that's a deeper conversation I want to have one day in the podcast, but I know I ain't ready to have it yet. But man, like, yeah, definitely, like Kazi said, go like if you're feeling down, you're feeling distraught, definitely seek professional help. And they definitely pray about it. Like God will, hear your prayers, but don't faith without works is dead. We said this before. You gotta put your faith into action, and sometimes that's seeking professional help to help you through what you're going through.
right,
So
because
go for it.
honestly, I'm not a mental health professional, but I could have went to theology school and be a pastor. I can't say that would give me an advantage to helping you in every situation. It might make me more closer to God. You see what I'm saying? More spiritually discerned, but there are also people who are close to God that work in these professions. I feel like each and every one of us called to minister. You know what I mean? Some people minister through health. As a matter of fact, like Advent Health, like the hospital system in Central Florida, their mission is to extend the healing ministry of Christ, because that too was a ministry. Jesus walked around healing. You see what I'm saying? Like we see Jesus healing more than we see Jesus preaching, And I ain't gonna say more. I think it's more because I didn't do the stats myself. You know what I mean? But in the same way, like to me, that's healing too, because it's your mental health, So yeah, back to Jobby, your boy, as you like to call him.
Oh, I actually trying to Google now how much times Jesus preached versus how much times he healed.
All right, I can continue though. I think we was at what verse? We just finished verse 10.
Yeah.
What strength do I have that I should hope? And what is my end that I should prolong my life? Is my strength the strength of stones, or is my flesh bronze? Is my help not within me, and is success driven from me? To him who is afflicted, kindness should be shown by his friend. Even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. In rap terms, this is a direct shot at Eliphaz. I can read it one more time. To him who is afflicted, kindness should be shown by his friend.
Yeah,
Even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. My brothers have dealt deceitfully like a brook.
And see, he addressed all them now. He's saying, but none of them would even speak yet. Y'all getting these straights now, bro.
Yeah. Like the streams of a brook that pass away, which are dark because of the ice, and into which the snow vanishes. When it is warm, they cease to flow. When it is hot, they vanish from their place. The paths of their way turn aside. They go nowhere and perish. The caravans of Timor look. The travelers of Sheba hope for them. They are disappointed because they were confident. They come there and are confused. Now, for now, you are nothing. You see terror and are afraid. Did I ever say, bring something to me, or offer a bribe for me from your wealth, or deliver me from your enemies, from the enemy's hand, or redeem me from the hand of oppressors? Teach me, and I will hold my tongue. Cause me to understand wherein I have erred. Now he really calling them. He like, bro, show me, because y'all already make up in your mind who I am and the wrong that I've done. Give me examples. Y'all is my boys, bro. Show me any chink in my armor. You know what I mean?
Oh, for real.
How forceful are right words? But what does your arguing prove? Do you
Mercy.
intend to rebuke my words and the speeches of a desperate one, which are as wind? Yes, you overwhelm the fatherless and you undermine your friend. Now, therefore, be pleased to look at me, for I would never lie to your face. Yield now. Let there be no injustice. Yes, concede. My righteousness still stands. This big Job we talking about, not the little one.
Not the small J,
Not
big
the small,
J.
big J. Is there injustice on my tongue? Cannot my taste discern the unsavory? Ooh,
Exactly, bro. Hold on now. Let's go back up a notch, right? Let's go back up a notch, right? Because Job definitely cooked them, right? And man, I even can start from the bottom right now. But think about it, bro. Job is the one covered in boils or from his head to his toe, where he was the one sitting under this tree having to scrape off some of these boils with a broken pot. He was the one distraught for 7 days, not talking. Now he's saying, buddy, y'all pick up y'all heads and look me in my eye, bro. He said, but a sick man, bro, standing up tall, saying, no, do not lay your heads down. Pick your heads up and look me in my eye.
Don't mix me up.
What I do? Tell me.
Tell me
what I do.
Tell me. And I want to make a correction. Go on.
Go for it.
No, go on.
He's saying, bro, Eliphaz, you done come up with your whole big old dissertation. You come with this whole fanatical thing. People of spirits whispering to you at night, talking all in your ear. Right? Talking about God so binary. Y'all is my friends. But I ain't ask y'all for nothing. I ain't even ask y'all to show up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I ain't ask y'all for a thing. Y'all supposed to be my friends. Y'all words supposed to comfort me. Y'all coming here adding to my grief, adding to my sorrows. My boy say, teach me something different, and I can hold my tongue. Because what y'all talking right now is foolishness. But if you don't have concrete evidence of my sin, since you so-called say I sin, show me my sin. If you can't show me my sin, buddy, the case still remains, and I have not sinned, and my suffering is not because I have sinned.
How forceful are right words? How forceful are right words, bro? And it's so funny because I don't even know how to take that. Oh, no, because it ain't a question. How forceful are right words? That's what he's saying, right? But what does your argument prove? He trying to say, but the truth compares true. Y'all busy arguing, y'all slapping up, but it ain't nothing happening from it. But this is the thing I wanted to walk back. Earlier, in verse 6, can flavorless food be eaten without salt? Or is there any taste in the white of an egg? I was conflicted on that because I'm saying that. Remember earlier I resolved to saying, he was saying how meaningless life is to him. It's like without thing. But I really was wondering, why did he take such a drastic, I was looking at it as a writer. Obviously, he probably didn't write this. This was more like off the dome, right? But I'm just like, why such a drastic turn? Because remember how it started. He say, for the arrows, verse 3, he say, verse 3, he say, for it would be, verse 2, if my grief were fully weighed and my calamity laid with it on the scales, it would be heavier than the sand of the sea, right? He say, for the arrows of the Almighty are within me. My spirit drinks in their poison. You know, if you poison the arrow, somebody stab you with the arrow, shoot you with the arrow, you feel that multiple ways, right? And then he turned around and say, does the wild oxy break when it's grass? Or does the ox low over its fodder? Can flavorless food be eaten without salt? Right? And I like, bro, okay, you just telling me how meaningless everything is. But let me tell you what I now realize.
Break it down.
Let me get to that last line. Remember the
Exactly.
last line. He say, "Is there injustice on my tongue? Cannot my taste discern the unsavory,
Unsavory. Yep.
unseasoned, the unseasoned?" Bro. So basically, he started off saying, "Bro, I feel so bad, bro. That God done passed me with his arrows. I feel so bad. But guess what? I don't even eat unseasoned food. I don't eat nasty food. And that's all y'all feeding me, bro. Y'all sitting
Exactly.
here in the midst of my pain. Y'all telling me, oh, you do this, you do that. So let me walk it down for you. Show me what I do. Show me what I do. And at the end of that, he turned, but I so love that he said, "Is there injustice on my tongue? Is there? Is there? Did I say anything wrong? Cannot my taste discern the unsavory, bro?"
We
You
all
see what
come
I'm
here and
saying?
add to his grief, buddy. Nothing but flavorless words, bro. And think
Wow.
about it. And think about what even make it even more powerful, right? My boy saying, "But guess what, Eliphaz? If your words had comforted me, I would have been like the donkey and the ox and would have been filled and not having to cry out anymore.
Wow.
But guess what?
Wow.
I still have to cry out because your words ain't do nothing for me, bro.
Mm.
Nothing. My word."
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Shall we continue with Job 7? Let's just finish
Yeah,
his
yeah.
finish his
Mhm.
suffering before
Yep.
we get to his next friend next week.
Yeah, for
Then he
sure.
say in chapter 7, verse 1, "Is there not a time of hard service for a man on earth? Are not his days also like the days of a hired man, like a servant who earnestly desires the shade, and like a hired man who eagerly works for his wages? So I have been allotted months of futility, and wearisome nights have been appointed to me. When I lie down, I say, when I lie down, I say, when shall I arise, and the night be ended? For I have had my fill of tossing till dawn. My
Mm.
flesh is caked with worms and dust. My skin is cracked and breaks out afresh." Man, think about this, right? You suffering all day and hoping you could lay down at night and catch at least a good night's sleep. My
Mm-mm.
man having nightmares, tossing and turning, can't sleep good. And think about you tossing and turning, you feel with balls, you turn on this side, you might be in pain again. You wake up reminded of the pain you in.
And all he thinking is, boy, when I go wake up, bro.
It's
When he
like,
go to sleep, he saying he waiting till he wake up. That's what I want. I want to wake up, bro. Because all through the night I just tossing and turning, worms eating out my skin and thing, bro. Like, come
that's
on.
wild, bro. I don't want to laugh, right? But that's so wild. Because wait, when you should be at your most peaceful, dog. My boy saying, but I'd rather be up. I already see how I feel when I up. I want to be
Right?
dead.
Exactly.
So what that telling
Exactly.
you,
What
bro?
that telling you, bro? What that telling you?
My goodness. Oh
Wow.
boy. And people say they suffer like Job, but they Job would look at them and be like, "Hey,
Hey, what you want, trade? Do you want to switch places? You know? And I get what people, I get the sentiment, like you feel like you're going through a lot of hardship,
mhm,
but boy, it's hyperbolic, when we try to think about it like that. I think it's just the concept of going through a series of unfortunate events. You know what I mean?
yeah, mercy." In verse 6, "My days are swifter than a weaver's shuttle and are spent without hope. Oh, remember that life has oh, remember that my life is a breath. My eye will never again see good. The eye of him who sees me will see me no more. While your eyes are upon me, I shall no longer be. As the cloud disappears and vanishes away, so he who goes down to the grave does not come up. He
Hmm.
shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him anymore."
So,
Go for it.
what verse is that?
That I ended on verse 10.
Verse 10. So I think this is kind of like the second time in Job kind of alludes
Mm-hmm.
to his view of death. It's a view that I share. I think that's because Job exists. It's half of the view that I share. You know what I mean? Because Job don't acknowledge the resurrection. You see what I'm saying? And that's something that the Pharisees and stuff, that was something new, and it's almost like that was something new when Jesus come talking to them, because a lot of them didn't understand. You know what I mean? The disciples and stuff like that, they had to learn about that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But now we see Job is talking about, when you die, you sleep. You see what I'm saying? So he who he who goes down to the grave does not come up.
Does not come up.
He shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him anymore. Right? And if we go back to I think it was chapter 4, like the first time, or maybe chapter 3. Yeah. Who would like you? No, I'm pretty sure it's chapter 4, right? When Job is talking about no, I'm sorry, chapter, it would have to be chapter 3, because that was the first time Job really spoke to us. But he was basically talking about chapter 3, verse 14. I'm sorry, or 13. For now, I would have laid still and been quiet. I would have been asleep. So he talking about this was, remember, if you remember chapter 3, he was wishing he was born, he was dead, or he was never born, right?
Yep. Curse of
And
David.
that's the context of it, right? So he's saying, if that had happened, I would have laid still and been quiet. I would have been asleep. So that's the first time he realized that he equates death to sleep. Then I would have been at rest with kings and counselors of the earth who built ruins for themselves, or with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden like a stillborn child, like infants who never saw light? There the wicked cease from troubling, and there the weary are at rest. You know what I'm saying? So the prisoners rest together. There they do not hear the voice of the oppressor. Small and great are there, and the servant is free from their master. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Why is life given to him who is in misery, and life to the bitter who long for death, but it does not come, and search for it more than hidden treasure. So in general, so we see when we couple this with this is chapter 7, verse 10. He says, chapter 9, he say, as the cloud disappears and vanishes away, so he who goes down to the grave does not come up. He shall never return to his house, nor shall his place know him anymore. So Job, first, he equates death to rest. He say, bro, if I did die, I would have been like all the kings before me, just resting. You see what I'm saying? Some people might twist it and say, I'm resting with kings, right? But it's like you resting along with kings who are also resting. It's not like saying we resting together, like, and rest is rest. Like, but we ain't gonna just reinvent the term rest. You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people try
People have reinvented some words before, my friend.
Yeah, and rest is one of them too, though. But when I think about rest, I was just telling you off, Mike. Nice Sabbath nap in my family last week. All us sleeping, even the kiddos. You see what I'm saying? We was resting. Ain't none of us. While I sleep, I can't jump in your dream and you jump in my dream and we all just chilling together. I trying to say this is an unconscious state, right?
Yeah.
And in the same way, it's unconscious. He's further going into it, saying that, yo, when you go to the grave, you ain't coming back up. You can't come back to your house, this and that, and the third. And I say all that to say, some people believe that you go to
heaven, or go
the day you go to heaven, or you roam the earth as a spirit, or you go to heaven and then you can come down upon request or permission, however it worked. But Job's dying with Job believe. Now I ain't gonna just say Job is the catch-all for what the Bible's saying. Some people could argue, oh, Job is speaking metaphorically, as we see, like when he talks about Leviathan, some people believe that's a sea monster, some people believe that's an alligator, you know what I'm saying? Like a giant saltwater alligator. I do not believe that. Some people believe. I respect all opinions. I'm not saying I'm right. You see what I'm saying? But Job, coupled with other texts, one text that we just pull out all the time, the dad know not anything. That's Ecclesiastes, another book of wisdom. You see what I'm saying? But we just went through Daniel. We just went through Daniel, right? How Jesus coming back, you know what I'm saying, Jesus coming back with his reward for those. When we think about Thessalonians, the voice of the archangel,
That's
like
the big one. Yep.
the dead in Christ shall rise. You see what I'm saying? Why the dead in Christ rising if they're already in heaven? You see what I'm saying? Wouldn't the dead in Christ come down with Christ, go into the body, like reunite with your body, and then rise? Wouldn't that be the case? You know what I'm saying? But here we see that Job is saying, when you go to the grave, that's it. You shall not return. You in the grave. You in the grave, and I even add on to that. You in the grave until Jesus comes, until Jesus returns, and it makes sense that way. It's to me, it's a cohesive thought. You die, you sleeping, you resting, and David rested with his fathers. Like these are things we see all through the book of First and Second Samuel. This is that person rested with their fathers. You see what I'm saying? We talking about death. However, I believe that there's a lot of texts that are taken out of context to imply that when you die, you go straight to heaven. One of my biggest questions there is that what's the point of Jesus returning? Because everyone could die eventually. You see what I'm saying? Everyone could die, bro. We could all be in heaven. You see what I'm saying? You're just waiting for another one to come. What's the point of Jesus returning if we go straight to heaven? You know what I mean? Anyway. But yeah, Job saying that, you go in the grave and that's it. That's Job belief.
Agreed. Now in verse 11, therefore I will not restrain my mouth. I will speak in the anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I a sea, or a sea serpent, that you set a guard over me? When I say, my bed will comfort me, my couch will ease my complaint, then you scare me with dreams and terrify me with visions, so that my soul chooses strangling and death rather than my body. I loathe my life. I would not live forever. Let me alone, for my days are but a breath. Oh boy, go for it.
When they say I would not live forever, I think that is obviously no one lives forever. So what's the point of even saying that, right? But remember, there's a text where Paul was saying, like, I would that you all live like me and not get married. Like, I think that's just King James language for saying that I want, or, you know what I'm saying? So I would, sometimes in the King James, they say I would, but they really mean I want. So I interpret that line specifically as saying, I would not want to live forever. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me alone, for my days are but a breath, And this just more Job doubling down. I feel like last chapter Job say what he really had to say to his friends. Like he proved his point, and at this point, he is further expounding on his feelings. You know what I mean? And it's almost like when Job. All right, so let's look at Job chapter 3. Job is just complaining. I wish I wasn't alive. I wish I play. And he come up with a bang too. Curse the day I was born.
Yep.
I wish my mommy could have never breastfeed me. I wish no knees would have meet me, and this. I wish the delivery didn't go on solid. You know what I mean? He come up with a bang. Eliphaz interrupts. Not to say he interrupts the sentence, but he speaks in between Job's. He speaks after Job. Job responds to Eliphaz and all his friends, and now we see in chapter 7, it's almost like he just resumes what he was going through. You know what I mean? So let me just talk about my agony. You know what I mean? Like the worms infesting me. I don't like to be alive. I don't like the day. But when the night comes, I can't wait till night because all I can do is toss and turn. See, because in the day, at least you have something to do. And I kind of relate to that in a way too, because when I was after my surgery, my knee had to be in a certain angle so that it could remain straight at all times. But it was in pain to be straight. Like it wanted to bend. But even bending was painful. And there was certain, like the sides of my knee had incisions, had fresh wounds on it too. So it's like nowhere could I leave my leg where it would be rest. So I would sleep for like an hour a night. And all through the night, I just tossing and turning, trying to get comfortable. I just trying to find like one good angle. You know what I mean? And because I in such pain, I can't concentrate on a TV show. So I'd say, hey, let me turn on a show just to watch. You know what I mean? But I can't concentrate because I just thinking about my leg. You know what I mean? I wish it was the daytime because at least when I in the daytime, I have my wife, I have people I can talk to. You know what I mean? I really alone at 4 o'clock in the morning. You see, like how they say misery love company. You know what I mean? Like I really just alone, bro, and I extremely bored during that time. So Job saying, bro, I ain't into this night thing. You see, they saying in the night, all I do is tossing and turning, wait until the day when stuff to do. You see what I saying? But even no matter what I do, I don't want to be alive. So this just him further expounding, on that point and how bitter he is, in his soul.
Man, it really makes you think right now, like Job really expressing that you see, talking about his spirit and his soul, like this spiritual and emotional pain almost more unbearable than the physical pain he in.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to wrestle as to like, bro, why is this happening to me?
Yep.
Like he just can't understand. Granted, no one in this position would ever understand what's happening, right? But you really see like he in this weird place where, bro, I try my hardest not to curse God, but I truly want like some answers, bro. Like why this happening to me? Why I in such torment? Why you just and furthermore, why you just don't let me die?
Yeah, it's sad, bro. It's sad because sometimes, but sometimes you go to sleep and you really in a world where a certain reality don't exist. So, people who incarcerated, sometimes they go to sleep, bro. They dreaming they outside. And it's so real, they even forget their circumstances until they wake up. And they're like, man, that was just a dream type situation. Or you might be in a dream and you get that job or you meet this girl or whoever, and everything just going right for you. And then you're like, oh, I had a dream. Job does not even have that comfort. Job has night terrors. And to me, that's even bro, because like that's psychological warfare, bro. Like
Yep.
you having nightmares. You can't even be at peace in your dreams.
No, not at all.
Man, that's hard. That's hard.
Verse 17, what is man that you should exalt him, that you should set your heart on him, that you should visit him every morning and test him every moment? How long? Will you not look away from me and let me alone till I swallow my saliva? Have I sinned? What have I done to you, O watcher of man? Why have you set me as your target, so that I am a burden to myself? Why then do you not pardon my transgression and take away my iniquity? For now I will lie down on the dust, and you will seek me diligently, but I will no longer be.
Yeah.
Mercy. Job wished that he could just die and escape all this torment.
Yeah.
And we see Job right here grappling with several things, right? Like me paraphrasing, right? Man, like, first of all, why you choose me as your target? Second of all, what sin have I committed? Third of all, even if I had sinned, why are you not pardoning my sin?
And why you don't just kill me? If I sin and it really like so diabolical, why you don't just go all the way?
And just end me? Because, like, why leave me here to suffer? Even though I know I do nothing wrong, but my goodness, man, this ain't it. I much rather die. We see Job has expressed these sentiments multiple times now, multiple verses. And it just goes to show the suffering that he's facing, right? Again, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Job is getting afflicted in all these different realms right now. And man, It's almost like your heart could go out to Job right now because I can't even fathom. Again, lost all 10 of his kids, lost all his possessions. His wife told him curse God and die. He's afflicted now by these boils from head to toe. Now you've got your friends here talking foolishness in your head. And you're like, bro, I can't get no comfort on any end.
Right? I would have loved to route him out, bro. That would have been my only source of like joy during this whole ordeal. You know what I mean? Like just blowing off some steam on y'all, bro. Because I don't have no peace nowhere, bro. I can't I ain't gonna say can't turn to my wife, but we don't hear about his wife. Like we don't know if his wife was like she dealing with her own thing and she can't be of no support. Or I just don't even want you to see me in this. Or what it matter? You know what I mean? Like, but the fact that I try to go to sleep every night and I get nightmares, that's how I know for sure this God, this ain't like happenstance. That's how I know for sure God out to make an example out of me. And then you coming around me talking fool, but I need to repent and righteous people, this never has happened to righteous people. And you know that, Job. You probably didn't tell a lot of people that in the past. If you don't come around me, bro, if you I would have liked to route him out. I would have liked to route him out during this time, bro. Come get some of this, bro.
Bro, seriously. So what was your thoughts on this chapter?
Overall, I feel like Job,
Well, chapters.
yeah, Job stand his ground. And I feel like Job is really content in the fact that he is innocent.
Mm-hmm.
I am innocent. I am not. He ain't saying that he don't deserve. Like, he ain't saying that he is above getting punished by God. Obviously, shall we take the good from God, not the bad? He's not above that. He knows that if God sees fit, that's God. You know what I mean? But why is the question. You see what I'm saying? Like, why me? Like, what I do? You see what I'm saying? It's like, and if I ain't do nothing, and that's how you carrying on, why do you do this? You know what I mean? Like, why do you or why would you punish an innocent person and just torture him? Mind-boggling to me. He maintains his innocence. When he's questioned, he give them how he's feeling, right? He give them the reasons why they are wrong. Like, and he even give them a little piece of advice, bro. Like, when you see a friend going through stuff like this, bro, I can find the exact text. When you see a friend going through stuff like this, bro, even if they wrong, bro, that ain't not just come at them, bro. You see what I saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, if you would come at me with sense, we'd be having a different conversation. But y'all showing me y'all wicked, in the way y'all acting. Because what is happening to me, I good for it, bro. This ain't like somebody who showed signs. Now, one thing is for sure, is for certain that it is possible that you could just be like a con man. You see what I'm saying? Like you could have hide your true self. But I never show you anything of the sort. So what are you basing this on? You basing this on the outcome? You don't have no proof, bro. But you casting me, like you sentencing me to something like you don't take my word for it at all. You see what I'm saying? Because in the realm of possibilities, because you don't have any proof, it still is possible, although unlikely. It is possible that this is happening to me by no fault of my own. You know what I mean? And so he give them that piece of his mind. Then he go right back to his same frame of thought. He ain't gonna derail me. He ain't gonna interrupt me. You see what I'm saying? Like I saying how I feel. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And now he coming more directly asking God questions like, God, why me? What have I done? Let me alone till I swallow my saliva.
Boy.
Oh my, but I can only imagine, man. Job, just imagine what it is to be in this predicament, bro. I can't even like fully grasp how I would even react in this frame of mind. And again, you still go for it.
No, I don't want to cut you off. I
I
just
make it.
had a thought, but I didn't want to cut you off.
I'm just thinking, bro. Like just to still not even like have anything bad to say. To still not even like because right now Job is just like an like really just searching for answers at this point. We know we hurt, right? But it's say this like properly, right? But it's not a sin to just question and like to have questions. That is not a sin. And he's earnestly just trying to figure out like, why am I going through this? I know I haven't sinned, but God, why me? And you see he's like relented at this point. Now he's saying like, bro, every moment, test me every moment. And like, why am I your target? My boy said I'm a burden to myself right now. Like, why am I your target? Like, what made me so special to be a target? And it's so interesting, right? Because now, like, we know the behind the scenes of what's going on, right? Pretty much all of this happening so the glory of God could be shown. But Job can't even see that in the moment. Because how could you see that when everything in your life right now is going bad? What glory can possibly come from this?
It don't.
And that's just such a hard question to even fathom. I know you point of thought. Go for it.
Yeah, so the text I was pointing to chapter 6, verse 14, Job.
Mm-hmm.
To him who is afflicted, kindness should be shown by his friend, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty. That is so interesting. That is so interesting. So Joel basically saying, bro, that's the way I interpret it. But even if I do all this to cause the punishment that I am receiving, even though I've forsaken the Almighty and this is my punishment, this ain't the time for you to dogpile on me. You see how you're going through the calamity? Kindness would be more effective than tough love. You see what I'm saying? Bro, I can read it. To him who was afflicted, kindness should be shown by his friend, even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty, bro. But people who's out insult to injury. You do something you weren't supposed to do and you break your arm or you get hurt. I tell you, don't do that. I just not in the turn. You see what I'm saying? It ain't the time, bro. Like you don't think it's blatantly obvious that I know I shouldn't have done. You see what I'm saying? What I'm doing, I am suffering the consequences of my actions. Kindness is what a friend should do when you see your friend afflicted. Kindness should take precedent. That's the fruit of the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Love is kind. That's love, bro. You see what I'm saying? When we are not kind, we are not showing love. You see what I'm saying? Straight up. And it's so funny because I don't even really think Eliphaz really carry on bad, I don't think he carry on bad, but obviously we lack tone. We didn't really hear them speak. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the conclusions you jump to, especially knowing Job, it wasn't kind. Because, bro, somebody could say an allegation against you, and I should be able to discern, but that don't sound like Earl. You remember we was just talking the other day?
I was thinking the same thing. Like as a friend, you should know how your friends act and carry on. Like go tell a story.
Yeah. So we was in a when you was planning the engagement party, right? We had some options, right? And one of the options was, hey, let's all put together and pay for this package that's gonna make the situation the event a much better package, right? And when I was talking to my wife about it, we was contemplating the options, and I was like, honestly, that really don't sound like Earl. Like I don't know Earl to be like, hey y'all, something I about to do. There's something for me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And all y'all, let's come together and pay for it. You see what I said? I know Earl, but Earl, I don't see Earl in this situation many times. Earl, like I go foot the bill. Y'all can reimburse me if you so desire. You see what I'm saying? But this is my event, this is my party, or this is my whatever. You see what I'm saying? I taking the responsibility for it. And it ain't no right or wrong, But I feel like that was uncharacteristic at the moment. You know what I mean? And so even with Job, so now you see Job is in a situation where he has such a big punishment. But this ain't no little punishment, but it's like the punishment for somebody who was like the Antichrist or something. You know what I mean? And so it's like, as a friend, you should be like, that don't sound like Job. Like what's happening to Job? For Job to be that evil, he must be like the devil himself, because he has masqueraded as a righteous man and he has fooled me. Why? Because he is my friend. He wouldn't be my friend if he was this evil of a person. You know what I mean? I must have been fooled. And that's the route they take. They're like, bro, you not wicked, bro. Let's just, they give him no benefit of the doubt. You wicked, repent. You know what I mean? And truly, bro, I find that so interesting, and I find that to be so Christ-like. And these are little instances in the Old Testament that don't really get harped on as much. Like, we go to the New Testament for these type of things, like unconditional love, right? When we say unconditional love, it means no matter the circumstance. There's no conditions for this. Like, some people think it's unconditional love as long as you treat me right. That's conditional love. You see what I'm saying? That's very conditional. I am loving you on the condition that you treat me good. You see what I say? And so Job like, bro, you see your friend afflicted? But you hear what he say? Even though he forsakes the fear of the Almighty, bro. Even though this person is a blasphemer and he like disrespect God or whatever it is, you see him afflicted, show him kindness, bro. That's the godly thing to do. You see what I'm saying? Don't enable him. That's a different thing. You know what I mean? But show him kindness, you know? And I feel like overall throughout this story, we see in how Job as a righteous man, how he thinks, you know, how he handles things. His righteousness or his understanding of godliness does not take the backseat to any situation. You see what I'm saying? That's unconditional righteousness. The devil say he only righteous on the condition that all his needs are met. God gave the devil permission to take away all of Job's needs. Job has no form of rest, no form of peace. Even when he goes to sleep, he is still tormented, and Job is still righteous. Job was not pleased by Eliphaz's response. Job made it clear that his accusations were baseless and in poor taste. And throughout Job's entire speech, he still maintains his innocence and reiterates the fact that he does not enjoy being alive. After this, Bildad steps in, and let's just say he too is not on Job's side. But we'll talk more about his speech on the next episode of A Breath of Fresh Air. Tonight's episode included voice acting by your host, Nakhaz. Remember to go ahead and research on your own in order to get a more firm understanding of tonight's episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can follow us on social media at A Breath of Fresh Air Pod on Instagram and BOFAPOD on Twitter. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.